空から降ってくる。
One Piece is packed with jaw-dropping moments, but few things hit harder than a good entrance. From dramatic reveals to perfectly timed arrivals that make you want to cheer, Oda knows how to keep us hooked. So let's talk about those moments that get your heart racing, give you chills, and remind you why One Piece is the GOAT of storytelling.
誰だ、歌を歌うのは。
よほほほほほほ。いやはや皆さん、この島に入ってきてしまいましたか。
おい貴様誰だ。
鼻歌三丁。
八つ切り。
Let's talk about the time Brook made his unforgettable entrance at Thriller Bark, because this was peak One Piece weirdness in the best possible way. The moment that sealed the deal, when he absolutely annihilated that spider monkey zombie in the most badass way possible while singing a tune beforehand. That was the point where I was just sitting there hoping, please let this guy join the Straw Hats. I mean, the whole humming swordsman vibe, it's ridiculously cool. I love the complete lack of music during his introduction scene up until he shows up on the bridge. The absolute silence lets you feel the resonance of his voice as it bounces off the surroundings, and you can hear the crickets chirping as he sings. It's haunting, yet wonderful at the same time. This is exactly where everyone's assumption about Brook being only a comedian comes to an untimely end.
悪運尽きたら。てめえは。政府はてめえの首を欲しがってるぜ。世界は我々の答えを待っている。
In One Piece, there's hype, and then there's Monkey D. Dragon levels of hype. The guy is practically a myth when we first hear about him, whispers of a revolutionary leader shaking up the world. When we finally see him in action, oh man, it's like the universe paused to just let us soak in the epicness. Now, Smoker comes face to face with the most wanted man in the world, and the guy doesn't even flinch. Bro was walking around like he was untouchable, acting all confident after taking down so many rookies. But little did he know, he was about to run into someone who didn't need to raise a finger to throw him off his game. The fact that he straight up created a full-blown tornado on the island shows that despite his calm demeanor, just like the rest of Luffy's family, Dragon is more than capable of unleashing some intense emotion when it counts.
何か飛んでくる。
マスター、出てこーい。
麦わら。
Being real for a second after seeing this, there's only one conclusion to draw. Straw Hat Luffy and his crew are straight up insane. Honestly, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this looks like Luffy, Frankie, and Robin are a trio of villains just ready to cause some serious chaos. If there's one thing the Straw Hats know how to do, it's make an entrance. And when they show up at Punk Hazard, it's nothing short of legendary. Luffy carrying Frankie and flying down like a human missile, already pretty damn cool. But then Robin grows wings and lands gracefully right in the middle of the Marines and G5. That was hands down the most epic moment of the entire episode. I gotta say, Robin's definitely gotten cooler since she became more relaxed around the Straw Hats. Before, she kind of felt like this distant character who didn't quite blend in well with the crew, but now she fits in perfectly, all while staying true to her unique personality and traits. Alright, listen up. A dimensional storm is brewing and the impossible is happening again. Goddess of Victory, Nikke, your favorite sci-fi RPG shooter with over 45 million commanders worldwide, is crossing paths with Evangelion in a mind-bending second quest. Something's not right in the Nikke world. The Red Sea has mysteriously appeared, bringing an apocalyptic threat unlike anything we've seen. But here's where it gets interesting. Through a tear in reality, Asuka, Rei, and Sakura emerge to join join your ranks. Yet, while you clearly remember fighting alongside them, they have no memory of you. Why? Because Asuka and Rei have crossed over from another time, bringing with them powers and abilities that could turn the tide in our darkest hour. As you dive into the blood-red waters of this new battlefield, you'll discover a breathtaking 3D environment where danger lurks around every corner. Ready to look as legendary as you fight? Unlock 2 stunning outfit collections, a free skin that every commander can earn through dedication, and an exclusive collaboration dress skin that will make your Nikkei truly unforgettable. Each comes with unique animations and fresh voice lines that bring these iconic characters to life in ways you've never seen before. The mysterious massive object Q and Phantom lead an army of vicious raptors in an all-out assault on the Ark. The fate of the two worlds now rests in your hands. The second quest awaits, and this time the rules of reality itself are about to be broken. I'll see you on the battlefield, commanders. You know what to do. Don't be left behind. Download Nikkei now, join the fight, and be a part of this legendary crossover. The link's in the description.
命をかけてもあの人たちは必ずやってくる。
なんだ。
アーロンってのはドイツだ。
But taking it back to one of Luffy's earliest and most iconic moments. You know the one. The moment that solidified Luffy as not just any pirate, but the pirate. Luffy's entrance at Arlong Park is one of those scenes that still gets you hyped every time you watch it. And he's not alone in this. He's got Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp with him, looking equally badass. Imagine being one of the villagers watching this group stroll up, only to find out a few years later that they ended up becoming some of the strongest people on the planet. Also, just a little reminder that this moment, Luffy had no clue what Arlong actually did to Nami. He just saw her crying, cursing Arlong's name, handed her his hat like, hold on to this real quick, and basically went, give me a minute. This is hands down one of the most iconic moments in the entire show. It's the first time we see the Straw Hat crew stand together as a true team. And if you look closely, the positioning is perfect. Zoro's on Luffy's right, Sanji on his left, symbolizing that Zoro is his right-hand man and Sanji is his left. Up next, we have Sanji, aka Mr. Prince, coming in clutch to save his crew from a watery doom in Arabasta. Picture this, Luffy and the gang are trapped in a flooding room, locked in a sea stone cage and surrounded by massive banana-headed alligators. Things are looking real bad. Just when all hope seems lost, a smooth, confident voice cuts through the chaos, and bam! One of those oversized reptiles gets sent flying. Enter Sanji, effortlessly cool as always, making his grand entrance at the perfect moment. And let's talk about that kick. These banana wanis aren't just huge, they're absolute monsters, known to prey on even the mighty Sea Kings. The fact that Sanji can punt one like a football is pure insanity. But here's the kicker, pun intended, eh? This scene subtly hints at Sanji's royal lineage long before the whole Cake Island arc. Even back then, he carried himself like a prince. Whether Nami or Vivi caught feelings in that moment, we may never know, but let's be honest, we definitely did.
Huh? I am King.
見ろ！誰か船の上に！
船を間違えた。
You know, a character is built differently when their first appearance after a 2-year time skip has them accidentally boarding the wrong ship and still looking like an absolute legend. The Straw Hats are finally reuniting after 2 years of training, and everyone is rolling up looking stronger, sharper, and ready for the new world. And then there's Zoro, who somehow manages to get lost before even setting sail. But let's talk about how different he looks. The moment we see him, he just radiates strength. He's got a scar over his eye, a whole new aura of confidence, and the kind of presence that makes you know he's on another level now. He might still be directionally challenged, but one thing's for sure, he came back stronger than ever and he's ready to prove it. This totally reminds me of Mihawk's introduction. You know, a massive ship sliced up with perfect precision, and apparently he did it just because they dared to wake him up from his nap.
いや、違う。マルコ。ビッグマム海賊団と百獣海賊団の同盟話は本当だったのかよい。構うな。撃ち落とせ。じゃあ 退場してくれ。させてなるものが。嘘だろ。
We have to talk about this one. The battle for Onigashima is heating up. Chaos is everywhere, and then, out of nowhere, a massive blue flame lights up the sky. And who's at the center of it? Marco, the Phoenix. Glided in like he just woke up from a nap and decided to drop by. At that point, Marco's way beyond just a Yonko commander. He was practically a Yonko contender himself. This dude just casually exists in the air, completely unbothered, as if he's already in control of the battlefield. And then, just to remind everyone who he is, he single-handedly stops Big Mom's entire fleet. Marco's entrance is pure confidence. He doesn't need to prove himself because his actions speak for him. It's the kind of moment that reminds you exactly why he was Whitebeard's right-hand man and why, even after all these years, he's still one of the most respected names in the New World. On to the next one. Luffy's out here struggling, and just when things look like they're about to go south, here comes Yamato in full beast mode. Ulti is on the attack, but before she can rip Luffy apart, she's hit with something that sends her packing. It's Yamato and her Thunder Bagua. It's like Yamato was just waiting for the perfect moment to show up and remind everyone who's boss. She comes flying in, completely unbothered, looking like she's got this whole thing under control. With one thunderous attack, she knocks Ulti back like it's nothing. Honestly, this was the kind of entrance that just makes you sit up and go, okay, I see you, Yamato. Yamato just made this fight a whole lot more interesting. From that moment on, you can't help but think, this is the kind of powerhouse we need on the team. If Ulti thought she had things under control before, well, Yamato just made her rethink that. Moving on, we have one of the most chill yet terrifying entrances in One Piece history. Doflamingo's arrival on Punk Hazard. This guy arrives at Punk Hazard with the kind of confidence that makes it seem like he owns the entire place. Whether he's causing mayhem or just showing up to stir things up, Doflamingo knows how to make an entrance, and it's always with that signature mix of style and danger. Honestly, the guy's just built differently, and you can't help but feel that when he shows up. Now, if One Piece had been a gory anime, Doflamingo would have been on a whole other level of ruthless. He's already a nightmare in the world we know, but imagine the carnage he could have caused if the series leaned into the brutal side. The poor G5 members. Talk about being traumatized, they don't even have a chance to blink before Doflamingo lands, and just like that, he's using his Conqueror's Haki to knock them all out with a single burst. It's all like he's giving them a personal demonstration of how easily he could wipe them out if he felt like it. Like in the video, give it a big thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
麦わらの一味は皆こうなのか。これは俺が原因じゃねえ。麦わら屋どうした。カイドウを撃てるのはそいつらだ。
Now this entrance is nothing short of a legendary moment in One Piece. The red scabbards are down, their backs against the wall, and the battle is looking grim. The tides have turned and things are looking bad, really bad. But just when it seems like all hope is lost, something insane happens. From the smoke and chaos, you hear the unmistakable sound of the sea, and then bam! Luffy, Law, and Kid show up. And not just in any normal way. These three aren't here for a casual stroll. They're here to wreck everything. They land on the battlefield like an unstoppable force of nature. The sheer presence they bring shifts the entire atmosphere. If you weren't already hyped for the fight, this trio's arrival definitely made sure you were. When these three show up together, it's game changing.
こりゃちょっとやりすぎたね。
Flashing its way into the list is one of the coolest, most casually terrifying entrances in One Piece, Kizaru at Sabaody Archipelago. I mean, this dude arrives at Sabaody on a bomb. Yeah, that's right, a bomb. Talk about an explosive entrance, eh? Who else could pull off such a laid-back vibe and still feel like the most dangerous person in the room? It's Kizaru's world, and we're all just living in it, aren't we? The best thing about Kizaru is how he's so calm and relaxed. Even when things look really bad, he just doesn't care, or he's sort of out there calm about it. Kizaru's mood shifts from, I'm gonna murder everyone in sight, to I'm too stoned to even see my own hands way too quickly. This man's all about that cool, calculated power. You know, the kind where you don't even need to raise a finger to make everyone sweat.
いい酒持ってきたんだろうな、小僧が。
店長、赤髪を迎えます。
失礼。敵戦につき少々威嚇した。話し合いたいことがあるんだ。
覇気をむき出しにして現れる男の言い草か。
Remember when Shanks met Whitebeard for the first time? Let's talk about that. Shanks has this kind of presence that commands attention, and he earns the entire crew's respect the second he walks in. He doesn't even flinch when Whitebeard's crew stares him down, ready for a confrontation. He's totally unfazed, as if he's been there, done that. I love how when we first saw this scene, we had no idea what was going on. But then, once we learned about Haki, it hit us like a ton of bricks. The huge flex Shanks was pulling off. He was basically using Conqueror's Haki with every single step he took, and we didn't even realize it at the time, did we? The way Haki was presented here was so badass. It made Shanks look like this ominous, almost supernatural force. With every step he took, the ship's hull seemed to break apart, like the very air around him couldn't handle his presence. Shanks was showing exactly why he's considered one of the most powerful pirates in the world.
人呼んで海峡のジンベエ。
But Jinbei joining Luffy in Wano? Oh, this moment was perfect. By the time Jinbei shows up, the Straw Hat crew is already pretty stacked, but adding him to the team makes everything feel even more solid. You can tell this was a long time coming. Luffy's been trying to get Jinbei on his crew for ages, but the timing had to be just right. When Jinbei finally arrives in Wano, it's the definition of boss energy. Luffy and Jinbei together, you know that's a dynamic duo ready to take on anything. It was like the crew's puzzle was complete, and with Jinbei joining them at such a crucial point in Wano, they were about to turn the tide of the whole war. Definitely one of those moments where you can't help but grin and say, hell yeah, this is gonna be epic.
なんて美しい瞳だ。
サンジの思いがけない優しさに触れ、プリンはサンジを撃つことができず、そして銃声の合図とともにルフィたちの作戦は実行に移された。
サンジは返してもらう。
止めようがねえ。
ビッグマム
Luffy making his entrance by destroying Big Mom's wedding cake lives in my head rent-free. There's just something about how Luffy makes every situation his own, no matter how serious it is. I love how it's Big Mom's wedding cake that gets the Luffy treatment this time. He doesn't even hesitate, just straight up punches through it like it's nothing. Big Mom is about to lose her mind, and Luffy is just out here having the time of his life, totally unfazed. He doesn't even care who he's pissing off. It's the perfect example of how Luffy thrives in the most ridiculous situations, not caring who he annoys as long as he's having a blast. Big Mom's face when she sees that massive destruction is priceless. Luffy made a statement, and that statement was, cake, not today. And 10 different shots of Luffy in this specific scene. I didn't know I wanted that in my life until this point.
なんだ、一体何が起こったんだ。
船が真っ二つに割れてるぞ。
やつだ。ロックリング、あの男です。
あの男。あの男が
ここまで追ってきやがったんだ。俺たちを殺しに。
ゾロ誰だあいつ。
鷹の目のミホーク。
世界最強の男。
Mihawk's entrance is pure legendary stuff. The moment this guy steps in, the whole atmosphere shifts. He walks onto the scene, cool and collected, and immediately gives off this "I'm about to ruin someone's day" vibe. He doesn't even need to say much. His presence alone is enough to make you realize he's not someone you want to mess with. Then he casually slices a giant ship in half with a single swing of his sword. Like, what? How does one even do that? The crew is completely thrown off, especially Zoro, who thinks he's ready to take on anyone but quickly realizes he's way out of his league. The fact that Mihawk doesn't even seem to break a sweat makes him look even more badass. He's the definition of effortless power. Even though Mihawk makes his appearance early in the series, there's still so much we don't know about him. All we really get is that he's the greatest swordsman. He wields a massive black-bladed sword, and everyone around him is absolutely terrified. He can slice entire ships in half with one swing, and to top it all off, he cruises around on his tiny coffin-shaped ship.
あれは空から降ってくる。
As we continue, Luffy's entrance at Marineford was one of the most legendary moments in One Piece history. The Paramount War at Marineford, one of the biggest, most intense battles we've ever seen in One Piece. With Luffy's adopted brother Ace facing execution, the Whitebeard pirates went all in to save him, kicking off an all-out war with the Marines. We're talking about all the admirals, the warlords, and a massive military force involved. But of course, Luffy wasn't going to sit this one out. He was ready to charge in no matter the odds. Now, before Luffy even gets to Marineford, he has to escape Impel Down. No small task in itself. He manages to break out of the so-called inescapable prison, and what does he do next? He literally falls out of the sky, smack in the middle of the war zone with all the other escaped prisoners. The sight of Luffy, this rubber guy, just plummeting from the sky like some kind of hero is honestly one of those "what's happening" moments. And it's not just anyone watching. Some of the biggest names in the war are staring in disbelief at this kid falling from the sky to save his brother. Epic doesn't even begin to cover this one.
そうしてやる。
嘘だ。名誉レイリー。おい、白ひげの見習い小僧、大人げないが、私はお前が嫌いでね。
Yet, Rayleigh's entrance against Blackbeard was an absolute power move. Blackbeard, the man who's been causing chaos and making waves, is strutting his stuff, thinking he's got the world in his hands. Then, out of nowhere, the legendary Dark King Silvers Rayleigh steps onto the scene. Rayleigh might be older now, but just look at how terrified Blackbeard is of him. It's pretty rare to see Blackbeard like this. He's not even fazed by the admirals yet. Here he is, clearly shaken. Rayleigh might have known he wasn't going to beat Blackbeard in a full-on fight, but the fact that he was able to resolve the whole situation just by showing up, that speaks louder than any words ever could. Blackbeard probably had flashbacks to prime Rayleigh slicing through his crew like butter back when Whitebeard and Roger were throwing down. Moving forward, Kaido's entrance in Wano was something else, something that we can't forget so easily. He didn't just show up, he arrived. And when I say he arrived, I mean it felt like the entire country of Wano was about to be swallowed up by the sheer presence of this guy. Kaido, in his colossal dragon form, descended from the sky like a natural disaster in motion. His very presence sent shockwaves through the land, shaking the ground beneath everyone's feet. It was like something out of a nightmare, only worse because this was real life. The massive wings, the roar that echoed for miles, and the sheer size of the beast. Honestly, it was a sight to behold, but also terrifying as hell. His aura alone was enough to make even the most hardened warriors second-guess their life choices. The air itself seemed to tremble in fear. If you were an enemy standing in his way, you had to wonder if you were going to survive this encounter. No one was prepared for the full weight of Kaido's might, and those who got a first-hand view, they were shaking in their boots.
まるで バカじゃないですか。
ああ、誰じゃい。
悔いはない。
よくやった、若い海兵。
急げ、急いで中へ。
行かないよ。
何もするな、キザル。
おーっとベンベックマン。
この戦争を終わらせに来た。
Next is Shanks' legendary entrance to save Kobe. If you've watched One Piece, you know Shanks is built for moments like this. But what makes it even better, Kobe set it up perfectly with his boldest move yet. The once timid Marine finally grows a backbone, stepping between the chaos in a desperate plea to end the bloodshed. Brave? Absolutely. Suicidal? Oh yeah, because let's be real, the forces at play weren't about to let him walk away. Just when it looks like Kobe's about to become another casualty, boom! Shanks appears, stopping an attack with his sword. And not just any attack. This is Akainu we're talking about. That's next level insanity. Only someone like Shanks could pull off a move this effortlessly cool while making the entire fandom lose their minds. And let's not forget the stakes here. If Shanks hadn't stepped in, Luffy probably wouldn't have made it out alive. This wasn't just an epic entrance, it was a game-changing moment in One Piece history. So yeah, thanks Shanks for saving the main character and giving us one of the most spine-chilling moments ever.
おい、海賊ども。海軍の未来、わしのまな弟子じゃ。ギャラクシーインパクト。
Last but not least, Garp's entrance to save Kobe was pure legendary energy, and it will make you appreciate the absolute beast that he is. It's Garp, the hero of the Marines, and he's not here to mess around. He's here to save Kobe, and the sheer power he exudes is enough to make everyone stop in their tracks. With one move, he goes from zero to complete destruction, unleashing his infamous galaxy impact. This isn't your average punch. Oh no, it's like Garp tapped into a cosmic force, sending a shockwave so intense it flattened the battlefield and left a crater that made everyone rethink their life choices. Rumor says that in his prime, this move was called Universe Impact. It's honestly kind of satisfying to see Garp go all out to protect his son Kobe, especially when you think back to how helpless he felt when he couldn't do the same for Ace. You can feel the weight of his emotions in that moment, and it makes his entrance and actions even more powerful. This time, Garp's not holding back. He's using everything he's got to make sure Kobe is safe, and it's like he's getting a chance to right the wrongs of the past. Feel free to drop a comment under the video with your favorite entries from today's list, or let us know if there's anything you think we should add. Click on this video if you want to hang around for some more time. See you in the next one.